Good day everyone and welcome back to another tutorial on boss fashions. Today we are making this stylish gown with this standout polo. To learn this, you have to pay keen attention to every details I'm going to be teaching you. And to all my subscribers, thanks so much. I didn't know how to appreciate you than to say thank you for everything, for staying here, for subscribing to this channel. Without wasting your time, let's go straight into today's tutorial. Looking at this gown, you will discover it has two parts, the upper layers and the lower part. So we are going to drag the upper part first. The bust we are working with is 35 inches, and 35 divided by 4, that will give us 8.5 quarter. 8.5 quarter, we are going to add our side seam of 1 inch. That will give us 9.5 quarter. So we are going to fold our fabric to that, and the half length we are working with is 15 inches plus 1 inch. That will give us 16. That's half for the shoulder joining and half for the waist joining. So we are going to mark it and make a line, and our shoulder to bust is 9 inches plus half inch shoulder joining. That's 9.5. And the shoulder to bust measurement is 13 inches plus half for the shoulder joining. That will give us 13.5. Mark 13.5 on the opposite side, then rule across. Let me quickly tell you this, that we are making use of basic body to achieve this dress. So let's proceed. The shoulder measurement is 7.5. 7.5 plus half inch for the shoulder joining. That will give us 8 inches. So that is it. Then we are going to mark it down 8 inches, and from the chest line we are going to come up by 2 inches. Remember, our side joining is 1, so that's the 1 inch. Now the shoulder slope, we are making use of 1.5. The neck width, that will give us, let's make use of 2.5 quarter for the neck width. 2.5 quarter, that's what we are making with. Then you are going to connect it. You connect the shoulder slope, the shoulder to the neck. Measure what you have from shoulder slope to chest line and mark the midpoint. After marking the midpoint, then we are going to come in by half inch. So after marking it, then we are going to connect our armhole. If you have cuff ruler, make sure you use your armhole cuff. It's very important as well. The waist we are working with is 30 inches. 30 inches divided by 4, that will give us 7.5 inches. 7.5 inches. So we are going to mark our 7.5. Then the side joining we are working with is 1 as usual. The dart as well, that is our dart, is going to be 1 inch as well. So we are going to connect it to the chest line. Make sure to use your ruler. If you can't mark straight, it is advisable as well. Now let's move on to the neck depth. The neck depth we are working with will be 3 inches. So the depth, this is the front side, so the depth is 3 inches. Then you connect. We have curve ruler for this as well, but for the sake of the beginners, this is to show you if you don't have curve ruler yet, you can still make good dresses. But it is advisable, if you have the fund, make sure you go for your necessary materials. But I'm using this channel to encourage you to focus on your dream. So that's just by the way. Let's cut this out. Now we are going to use the front part to fold our back. The back we have zip allowance, and for the zip allowance I'm making use of 1.5 inch. If you like, you can make use of 1, but I'm making use of 1.5 inches for this dress. So let me measure it. So accuracy is also very key in making good dresses. Let's cut it out now. Remember, while making this front armhole, we came in by ½ inch, but for the back we are not going to come in by ½ inch, so we are going to just draw it that way. So let's just mark it. You don't have to go in by half at all. Now for the neck depth, we are going to make use of 5.5. That's our neck depth. So we are going to mark it and connect to the upper part, that is the neck area. Now let's cut out this neck. Before I forget, please, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, make sure you do so. Please just subscribe to this channel, especially if you know we are giving you value. Make sure you subscribe to this channel. So here is it. We are going to cut out the front neck as well, then we proceed to the lower part. Moving on to the lower part now. Already the full length is 36 inches and we've made use of 15 inches for the upper part. So we are going to minus that 15 from 36. What we have left will be our lower part length. So let me minus the upper part now. So now here is what we have. Here is it, 36, but I'm going to add 1.5 folding allowance. That will give us 37.5 length. So now what we have as total length is 23. We are going to use half for the waist joining, then 1.5 inch for down folding. Now after this length, now we move to the hip. The hip measurement is 38. You divide the 38 by 4, or you divide any measurement we are using, but we are using 38 for this case. That gives us 9.5. The 9.5, we are going to add additional 3.5 inches. So that will give us 13 inches in total. 13 inches in total. So that's what we are going to use to fold the front part of the lower part of this gown. Because I have more than 13 inches here, so I'm going to refold my fabric to 13 inches. So the next thing, after marking the length and the width of this front part now, is to cut it out and use it to cut the back part as well. Then we will now proceed to shaping. So let me remind you again. The difference between the front part and the back part of this design is the zip allowance. So that's why we are going to refold our fabric now to give room for our zip. And the zip allowance is 1.5, just the same way we did for the for the upper part. So the same thing, 1.5 inches. That's what we are going to use, and then we are going to cut the box out as well now. Now let's work on the waist area. The waist we are using is 30 inches. 30 divided by 4, that will give us 7.5. So we are going to mark the 7.5, and also we are going to make use of 1 inch for the side joining, and we are going to make use of 2 darts for this down part, 1.5 inch each. So there is the first 1.5, and here is the second 1.5. So we are going to connect this to the hip area. You can make use of your hip cuff if you have. So just connect it this way. So after marking, let's cut it out. At the end of the day, you are going to see the effect and the beauty of these 2 darts. Now the next thing is to cut out the polo. And to cut out the polo, we are going to measure what we have on the neck area. And don't forget, we have half-inch joining allowance on the shoulder line as well. So whatever we measure, we are going to minus the 1. Here now we have 4 inches for the front. So let's measure what we have for the back as well. So I'm going to minus the 4 inches from the front part. That's why I extended my tape rule above. So now measuring it, we have 11 inches in total. So that will be the roundness of the polo. Now let's proceed to our polo. But the first thing you have to note is that you must cut on bias. You must cut your polo on bias. That is the first thing you have to put in place. I'm going to make use of simple method that won't give you issue whenever you want to do it. So after folding your fabric into 2 folds, then the height of this polo is 7 inches. And out of these 7 inches, I'm going to join it with half on the down part and half on the upper area as well. So we are going to be left with 6 inches. And this 7 inches, you have to add additional 4 inches to it. That will give us the height of the polo. So 7 inches plus 4, that will give us 11 inches. Let's refold. This is not up to 7 inches, this is not up to 11. So we are going to fold it to make our 11 inches. Just make use of this simple method. You will always get the best result. After getting the height, now the roundness. Already our roundness is 11 inches on fold. 11 inches on fold. So you mark the 11 first. Let me cut this excess away so it won't get you confused. Okay, so our roundness while on fold is 11 inches. So you are going to add additional 7 inches to that 11 inches. Okay, let's make it 7.5. You add additional 7.5. That will give us 18.5. That's on fold, 18.5. So we are going to duplicate the 18.5. Just follow what I'm doing. So this is another 18.5 now. Let's cut it out now. After cutting it, we are going to fold it in order to have equal shape on each side. So now the next thing, now we are going to fold it. So after folding it, we are going to mark that 11 inches we measure. 11 inches, that's the first thing we are going to measure. So after this 11.5, then you come down by 2.5. That we are going to connect to the center. So we are going to connect it to the center. After connecting it to the center, now I'm going to confirm what I have, if I still have my 11 inches. So after confirming our measurements now, the next thing is for the height of our center polo. And we already know we make use of 7 inches. So we are going to mark the 7 inches. After marking it, then we go to that 11 inches area. Then we are going to mark 7.5. We mark 7.5, then we connect it. Now for the slant area, so we are going to connect from the tip of our fabric. We are going to connect it half inches away from that curve. That's half inch away. When I cut it out, I'm sure you will see it clearly. So I'm going to mark it. I'm going to connect it half inch away. So guys, we are done with the cutting. Let me put it that way. We are done with the cutting now. But if you have any question, make sure you drop the question for me in the comment section. And as for the sewing tutorial, I'm going to drop it very soon. So make sure you turn on your notification bell. As soon as I drop it, you'll be able to receive notification. But it's a promise, I'm going to drop the sewing tutorial very soon. But if you know you can join it, just proceed, join, and give us comment in the comment section about the results you get. Thanks so much, and see you in the next tutorial.